YouTube, what's going on? Crazyncman. It's another gorgeous afternoon here in western North Carolina, and it was made even better today when UPS pulled up to the Airsoft Carolina store and unloaded a truckload of the Magpul ACR Masadas. This has to be one of the most anticipated, the most talked about guns this year. Everybody's been waiting to see the final release version. Everybody's been waiting for these things to come available in a retail store, and yours truly, Crazyncman in Airsoft Carolina, we're going to bring them to you today. Now, I'm not a big fan of Magpul. They build some nice stuff, some innovative ideas, but you know, it's just not my cup of tea. And I'm definitely not a Call of Duty fanboy. Matter of fact, I've never played Call of Duty, so I could care less if this gun's in it or not. But my first impression right out of the box was this gun is just absolutely freaking awesome. It's very, very nicely built, nicely put together. They didn't miss a bit of detail on this thing. It's light with the 6063 aluminum upper receiver. There's not a lot of weight to this gun, so you could wheel this baby around CQB of the woods, no problem. The other nice thing is this thing is full of ambidextrous, left-handed, right-handed shooters, man. Either one can get full use of this gun because it is fully ambidextrous, and just a fantastic rifle. So like I said, this has got to be the most talked about gun this year. It's finally here. It's finally available. I thought it was fitting to wear my big bucks whammy shirt because you're gonna have to have some big bucks to buy it. This thing is not cheap, but it's worth every penny you'd pay. So let's go back in the studio and we'll take a close-up look at the Magpul ACR Masada. All right, back in the studios where it's nice and cool, and we're going to take a closer look here at the Magpul ACR Masada. Once again, this video is brought to you by AirsoftCarolina.com as well as AirsoftAnswers.com and all my other .coms. So we're not going to spend a lot of time on the box, but we do have to look at the outside of the box because it sure is pretty, because it's Magpul, baby. They don't do anything unless it's pretty. The box itself, excellent, foam lined, much like I showed with the real swords. That gun is packed in there and it is not going to get hurt during shipping. Alright, now to the contents of the box. Of course, you get the gun, thank goodness. You get a warranty here. This is a 60-day warranty from Spartan Imports. Please read it carefully and see what the warranty does and does not cover. As they always are, it's a limited warranty. So please read that carefully so you'll know. You get a 120 round mid-cap PMag. And this one's cool because it has the dust and dirt cover on it, which you can just pop off and then put on the bottom, keep it locked tight to the magazine. But that's pretty cool. Keeps all the dust and dirt and crap out of your magazines when you're out on the field. Plus, you know, like any Magpul product, it just looks damn pretty. They've also changed the honeycomb on it to this tri-set here instead of 5. Makes it a little easier to get a hold of, grip, get out of the gun. And then in this little packet, you will receive your Masada ACR instruction manual. You will also receive another warranty card from Magpul. Please remember to fill these out and send them in. You will also get a CD. Is this a CD or DVD? A CD-ROM. It has the instructions for this gun. Plus it has some cool screensavers and backgrounds for your phone and iPhone. All kinds of other cool stuff. Because we all know Magpul likes to add the fluff to it. And then, probably the coolest thing. The coolest thing is the little Magpul bullet. And you say, well, that's pretty cute. Why'd they give me a little bullet? You know, what is it, a keychain? No, it's just a little bullet. But this is for actually pressing the pins out in the gun and also pressing the charging handle out. But it's pretty cool. It says Magpul on it. Make sure that's still in your rifle when you get it, because I bet you a lot of people at the retail stores are going to be grabbing that and trying to keep it for themselves. Look at the body detail on this gun. Just absolutely superb front to back. You can see here it's really cool. It's got the Magpul logo. The entire grip is the Magpul logo, as well as the accent right here on the lower receiver. Little tiny Magpul logo. That's very cool. 6063 aluminum upper receiver. I said front to back, the finish is excellent. You got quick disconnect sling mounts here. See all the Magpul logos. It's all licensed, of course. Another sling mount back here. Another sling mount here. Got a sling mount here. Of course, it's got the Magpul logo all over it. Fire selector switch, nice and crisp, moves from position to position really nice. Looks a little small, but it's actually not bad. The overall ergonomics of the gun. Mag release, easy to get to. I love the bolt release being right here below the trigger guard. Absolutely one of my favorite features of it. Just a great looking rifle. It's pretty much an exact copy of the real ACR Bushmaster. They spared no expense. It's really nicely done, not only fit and finish, but just the way it's built. There's not a thing out of place on this. I noticed that right off. I'm not a big fan of Magpul. I'm not a Call of Duty fan at all. Matter of fact, I've never played it, so I don't even care about that aspect of it. But I like the feel of this gun. It's very nicely balanced. It's very light. Like I said, it's nicely put together. I just don't like the big front handguard. I think it looks a little weird. It's a little big. But overall, it's definitely a sweet looking rifle. Now, like I said, this is pretty much an exact copy of the real Bushmaster. You got a 14.5 inch barrel. You got a 15 inch upper rail. You got your flip up front and rear sights. The front one's very stiff. You really got to push on that thing to get it to pop up. But, you know, definitely... It's just, like I said, this total quality. The fit is absolutely unbelievable. The other nice thing about this gun is it's full-on ambidextrous. Not only the fire selector switch, the magazine release, the bolt release, but you can also move the charging handle from the left side where it's at now and over to the right side. And that's what that little bullet's for. If you look down in there, there's just a little tab on it, and you just push it down, pull it out, stick it in the other side, and you're ready to go. For left-handed shooters, there are a couple things you have to do to get this ready, and it's basically just moving the sling mount from this side over to this side, move the quick disconnect sling mount from this side over to this side, change the charging handle, and you're ready to rock and roll, full-on ready for the left-handed shooter. So that's a great feature of this rifle. The other thing, like I said, the first thing I noticed was the weight. It's so light. And again, I totally spaced out my scales bringing them home so I could put this on them. But this gun is light, and it features a fully polymer stock, lower receiver, handguard, and then it's got a 60-63 aluminum upper, which keeps the weight down. And that's the first thing you got to notice about this gun is it's nice and light. It's a pretty long gun, you know. Definitely, you know, good size piece, but it's light, and I really like that. I also like this, the bolt release right here, where you can go from here and here, you know, never losing control of the rifle. You just pull this back, push down there with your trigger finger. Like I said, it is ambidextrous, one on this side, fire selector, mag release. So I really like that feature. That's one of the nice innovations that Magpul comes out with. It's little things like that, and that I like. Plus the bolt got a nice slamming sound to it, and it's just a fantastic unit. Also, from the quick disconnect slings, I forgot to tell you, up here there's one here and there's one on this side, so you got plenty of room to put slings wherever you want on this gun. There's also the sling mount right here. The cheek rest is adjustable, even though it does not go very far, and it's kind of a pill to adjust. You got to push it back and pull it up, but that's all it does. It only adjusts, you know, it adjusts a mere 3/8 of an inch or something, but still pretty cool. Very comfortable gun when you shoulder it up looking down the sights on it. And then the other thing I was impressed with is when you put the magazine in, you don't even feel it catch, but it's firmly in there. It's locked in. It's not going to fall out, but you don't even have to put any effort into putting the magazine. It's just that precisely built that you stick it up in there. You're not jamming it. You're not trying to force it in there. It's just the smoothest little mechanism you ever heard. I really like that, and that just goes to show the precise build from both interior, exterior, on this gun. It's just incredible. My only complaint on the exterior features was, I don't care about the orange. We all know here in the United States we have to have it, but they put a plastic flash hider on it, and I don't quite understand that. You went through all this hassle to build this beautiful rifle to put a plastic flash hider. You know, maybe they're gonna, you know, they want to sell flash hiders too. But anyways, that was the only thing I didn't like. Why they didn't put an orange metal flash hider so we could take it home and sand it down and paint it. You know, I don't understand why they went with plastic. I mean, that couldn't have cost them an extra few bucks to put on it, especially with all the bells and whistles on this gun. You know, why the hell not put a metal flash hider on the end of it? So kind of silly, but I can see why they did it. You know, whatever, the manufacturers have their own rhyme and reason to it, but so far that's my only complaint on the exterior of the gun. Now the internals of the gun, this gun's pretty cool because it has the quick disconnect barrel set up just like the real one, and we'll go over that here in a minute. It has a version 3 gearbox, of course, with a metal housing, steel gears and all that. It has the micro switch trigger, which gives it excellent trigger response, way faster than any normal AEG. And the internal build quality overall is just fantastic. But I like the quick disconnect barrel setup, and the hop-up chamber is totally different, totally separate from the barrel, which makes sense because it gives it more a precise fit, better air seal, and just overall you're going to get a more precise, you know, barrel to hop-up unit connection. So that was really cool. And then the quick disconnect barrel is definitely cool. The gearbox in it, like I said, it's a version 3. It's really smooth, really quiet. I'm not going to take it down to the gearbox and take everything out of this. We have these in very limited quantity, so I'm not going to disassemble the very first one we ever get. But we'll just leave it at that with a great version 3 gearbox. It has excellent rate of fire. When I do the test, I'll use a 9.6 volt Intellect battery to do the test with, and you'll see it's a very accurate rifle, very quiet, and just has overall great performance. Battery and handguard installation. You can take your little bullet, push that pin out, go ahead and pull that off. It's got a keeper to keep it from coming out of the handguard, and then that just slides right off just like that. Like I said, it's a polymer handguard. You have a small Tamiya connector in there. There appears to be plenty of room for pretty much whatever battery. I don't think you'd fit a large in there, but it looks like you'd be able to get a 9.6 volt butterfly, a stick battery. It looks like there's just a ton of room for about any kind of battery option you want to buy. And once the handguard's off, you just push this down, spin it around, and your whole outer barrel comes off just like that. And then you can see your bucking, your hop-up nub, everything is right here into the outer barrel. The gas setup on the top, you know, to make it look ultra realistic, you can actually twist it and stuff just like the real one. This is just kind of a great feature here. Like I said, it's nice to have, in my mind, to have the hop-up chamber separate from the end of the barrel. Kind of makes sense because this is just a very precise fit. Makes it a lot easier to service your bucking and the nub and any other issues you have. And it's just a great idea. And then down in there you got the new hop-up chamber. It's definitely a step up when they built that ACR Masada, that real piece of junk. The hop-up bucking, that was the hop-up chamber, that was no good. This here is a totally different beast and seems to be a lot better design than the old one. So that's all there is to getting that out. And then to put it in, you just slide it all back in there. And then pull this lever back over. Your barrel's back on, ready to go. Like I said, there's plenty of room in this handguard to get whatever battery you want to fit in there. I don't think it'll take a large battery. It's just that easy. Like I said, nice, precise fitting gun. Comes apart easily, goes back together easily. Alright, we're out here on the range, 100-foot shot. We're just going to go for the distance, none of this close-up stuff. So let me zoom in. You can see we are back 100 feet. I've tried to dial the hop up in as best I can already. Just hop up a little bit more. Just to hop up just a little more. Went the wrong way with it. It's a very fine hop-up wheel here. Moves very easily, very fine adjustment. Got trigger response on this thing. Alright, there it is, day on the range. The Magpul ACR Masada. You can hear there at the end, these PMags don't feed real good, and so far what I've found on most of these Magpul PMags is none of them feed very good. Is that going to say the magazine is junk? Of course not. Could use a little oiling in the tracks or whatever. You know, we all have to fiddle around with it, but they still haven't made a mid-cap that feeds very good. And as you can hear in that video, once it got towards the end, it wasn't going real swift. Up in the beginning was fine. Get towards the bottom of the mag, just didn't feed that great. So overall, this rifle gets about a 9 out of 10 for me. Like I said, I didn't care for the plastic flash hider. Why they didn't put a metal one on, I don't know. The PMag doesn't feed the greatest in the world, and those are about my only two complaints about the gun. So, but as you can see out here on the range, it shot good. It takes it's a very fine adjustment hop up. I went from a little too less a hop up to a little too much. It's very sensitive. It's very, you know, it's very precise unit. So I didn't really get the balance on that hop up I would have liked. And plus, you all know how it is. You got to shoot you know, 1,000 rounds or so, and the gun gets breaking in, the hop-up button gets broke in, the nub and all that. So the shooting test wasn't all that stellar, but again, that's right out of the box. I didn't even clean the barrel on the thing. I just threw some BBs and a battery in it and let it rock and roll. But like I said, all in all, 9 out of 10. Magpul ACR Masada, great gun. Can't wait to see you guys out on the field with it. Airsoft Carolina, you better pick them up quick, because I guarantee you they're almost sold out, and they just came in today.